Hey everyone, this is MySpace here, and I'm joined with Zach, Vladimir, and Sean Riviera, and we're here to talk about PS4 versus Xbox One, two new console systems that just recently came out, and we're here to discuss everything and which is better, which is worse, and why you should get it or why not. So take it off the top, guys. What do you got? What do you got to say?
I guess I'll start.
All right, Zach, you can start.
In terms of PS3 versus Xbox 360, I always lean more towards PS3 because of the free multiplayer with the PS3. I consider it the lesser of two evils. That's what I've always called it. And I kind of expected that. It's next-gen consoles, and I was a bit disappointed when I found out the 4 does not have free multiplayer.
Yeah, you have to pay for the multiplayer. Yeah.
Right. So I'm a bit more indecisive now, but I was able to find us a chart for like the specs, so we could compare.
All right, so you want to start off with the chart, Zach?
Yeah, sure. As far as price goes, I'm definitely siding with the 4 on this one. As a budgeting college student, it's slightly more friendly. I mean, the difference is only $100.
What do you say, Vladimir?
Well, I mean, it's 20% cheaper than the Xbox, so that's a pretty large margin. For the amount of like percent of performance increase from the PS4, I mean they're relatively similar in specs. The PS4 is better in regards to hardware than the Xbox. However, the percent, I mean, you're buying a better system for a cheaper price. You can't really go wrong with that logic.
Right.
We will go into those details later, but first, Sean Riviera, what is your opinion on this?
Well, I'm slightly biased because I got a launch PS4.
Nice.
But the reasons as to why I did was, one, obviously it's cheaper. 2, the specs are better. And I'm not gonna lie, like at the end of the day, the PS3 had a lot better exclusives than the 360 at the end of the cycle. So I just felt like I'd switched this round from Xbox to PS.
All right, cool. For me, I'm just mixed on it right now. I'm not really sure, like, because I've always been a fan of Halo and Xbox and stuff like that, but I'm not really interested in paying for consoles at this point in time either right now. So I'm kind of undecisive. I kind of might wait a few years to have some money available to buy it, if I'm even considering buying it. I'm not gonna rush into this. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you guys on the PlayStation 4. It seems to be cheaper. I feel like a lot more people are gonna go for that because of some of the titles as well, like Killzone.
Well, I mean, like I said, like it's not just because it's cheaper. Like the RAM is faster in the PS4 because it uses video RAM versus the Xbox using DDR3 RAM. Additionally, the GPU on the PS4 is a lot faster, has a lot more shaders than the Xbox video card, which means the pictures look a lot more crisp. And even though if you render an image, if you render an image from the Xbox and the PS4, they'll look relatively the same. However, because of the PS4's higher tier video card, the PS4 will just be able to render those images and render gameplay a lot faster than the Xbox. Not necessarily like noticeable to the human eye, but again, just if you're comparing A to B, and A is slightly better, A outweighs B. Additionally, what I like about the PS4 is that the removable hard drive. So if you're,
I didn't even realize. Oh, that's cool. I didn't even realize it has that actually. Didn't the 360 have that?
Yes, it did.
I don't know about the 360.
Yes, but it was proprietary. You had to buy the Xbox official hard drive, from what I remember.
Okay, and now it's reversed. Like only the PS4 will have it, and
the PS4 you can put in a standard laptop hard drive, a 2.5-inch hard drive in there. For the Xbox One, you can use an external hard drive,
which is, Yeah, but the thing about it though is that hard drives do have a tendency to occasionally fail. Like you're going to be carrying your console around, drop it, etc., etc. The number one cause of your computer just pooping on you is pretty much your hard drive. So the fact that the PS4 has a removable hard drive is kind of nice because if it does get damaged in any way, shape, or form, you can just buy a new one, download the firmware online from Sony, and boom, you're good to go. Whereas if you damage your Xbox, like you're toast. You have to go send it back to Microsoft, pay a whatever fee to get it fixed, and then send it back. It's essentially like, I foresee it as being almost similar to the Red Ring of Death. Like people are gonna start messing up their hard drives, and they're gonna start complaining.
Wait, is that in relation to the PS4 with the Red Ring of Death, or is it in relation to the Xbox One?
Red Ring of Death was
It was 360.
Right, yeah.
Right, but you're making a comparison with something else now, right?
He's saying that will be like the equivalent of the Red Ring of Death, kind of.
Well, what were you mentioning it to exactly?
The hard drive.
For the Xbox One?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, when you put it that way, I would definitely go more for the PS4 because I feel as if it's more reliable. I don't want something that's likely to conk out on me.
Now, we'll go to the CPU right now. The CPU for the PS4 is a single chip x86 AMD Jaguar processor with 8 cores. The Xbox One is an 8-core Microsoft custom CPU. What's your input on that, guys?
Those specs don't really tell you much except that it's 8 cores. Hang on, let me dig up. They're essentially the same. I don't know. That's the thing. Does the Microsoft one use Intel or AMD?
They're both custom AMD chip.
Oh, so they're both an AMD? Yeah, then they're the same.
The only difference is because Microsoft wound up going with the less powerful GPU, they overclocked the CPU slightly from 1.6 gigahertz to 2. So what they lose in GPU power, they try to make up for in a little bit extra CPU power.
But when you're playing games, you want a better GPU than CPU.
Yes, generally.
Okay. So.
And that's the next thing we're going to go on to right now is the GPU. According to this graph that I have in front of me, the GPU for the PS4 will be an AMD Radeon graphics core next engine with 1252 shaders, and Xbox One would be 800. Yeah, and Xbox One would be 850 megahertz AMD Radeon GPU with 768 shaders. So it kind of sounds like they're similar in nature with the GPU.
Well, they also went over it. They mentioned that it basically means since the PS4 has slightly more shaders, the graphics are going to be slightly better.
They're going to be more crisp, essentially. Yeah. They're not going to look as pixelated. The detail to, structures, buildings, grass, whatever it is game you're playing is going to look a lot nicer and a lot crisper. And because the shader throughput is a lot faster on the PS4, you're going to be getting higher FPS while playing because the PS4 GPU will be able to render the game a lot faster than the Xbox. Your performance, the game performance is going to look not only a lot nicer, but a lot cleaner as well. You're going to be getting a lot more FPS on the PS4 than you would be on the Xbox One, which is nice. You don't want to hook the PS4 or the Xbox, whatever console you're getting, up to a large TV and get choppy. Choppy.
Definitely not.
The storage is about the same for both. For the PS4, it's 500 gigabytes, 5400 RPM SATA, second hard drive, and then with the Xbox One, it's just simply a 500 gigabyte hard drive. So I'm not really sure what the difference is there in the RPM SATA second thingy.
Yeah.
Well, RPM just tells you how fast a hard drive's spinning. Essentially, 5400 was like the standard for laptops back, I want to say, like early 2000s. They're not the fastest drives, but again, like with the PS4, if you want to upgrade your hard drive to a faster drive, I don't know if it takes in solid state. I don't know, Sean.
It will, but the load times will be like you'll get like a negligible gain. At the end of the day, what really limits the loading between the two, by two I mean it's gonna be the same because they're the same processor, is the processor speed. It's not fast enough to load the games faster with a faster drive.
But I mean, yeah. Either way, again with the hard drives we went over it. One's removable, which I find is a perk. So
I was actually thinking we could cover the controllers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know much information about the controllers, but
did you take a look at them at least?
I was just looking mostly at the features and the hardware and stuff like that.
I mean, in terms of looks, I'm gonna have to go with again. I'm sounding like a broken record here, but I'm gonna go with the PS4 because it seems easier on my hands. Kind of. I mean, my gripe with Xbox controllers has always been they've been a bit too bulky for me. And I'll admit, I took a look at the Xbox One controller. It looks slightly slimmer, and I see they got rid of the Xbox symbol in the middle, or they moved it up a bit. But yeah,
I really have no comment on the controllers. What about you guys?
I mean,
Personally, you can go.
well, you have the PS4.
Yes, I do. I was never a big fan of the DualShock 3 and because PlayStation's had the same controller for the past 10 or so years, from the PS1 to the PS3. I just couldn't use it. It was too small. The PS4 controller's a lot better. It's still a little small. Granted, I have huge hands.
yeah.
But the thing I didn't like about the Xbox controller is the Xbox button placement is at the top center of the controller, which is just a pain to try to reach if you're trying to hit the button to go to the home screen or view a message from someone. That was my only gripe with it. Other than that, I did like the feeling of the Xbox One controller a little more, but PlayStation definitely made a more comfortable controller than they have in recent years.
Yeah, I always liked using my index finger whenever I use the R keys. So the fact that the PlayStation had like 2 R keys in the back, I mean, it wasn't a big deal. Like I just quickly moved my finger over. I mean, I had pretty decent reflex. But I did like the fact that the Xbox just has 2 triggers in the back. Made it feel more like you're holding a gun or some other thing. I don't know. I felt it was more natural.
It made for good leverage too.
Yeah.
So
it's always fun to chuck one at both head.
All right, so this is for this is just a few other things just to go over really quickly. The Netflix, they're gonna have Netflix like with the previous consoles. You're gonna have to pay, with the gold subscription on Xbox to have Netflix. Same thing with Skype. They're allowing Skype, and for Skype, you'll have to get a gold subscription to use Skype on Xbox One. Sean, do you know if PS4 is allowing you to use Skype on?
That I do not know. I wound up going I got a PS4 bundle with PlayStation Network Plus, so I can't really say one way or the other. I believe they do because I know you have to have a PSN Plus account to play online. That's completely different from it was last gen, but I think I'm upside down.
Okay, so let me ask you, Sean. How is the game DVR on the PS4?
The game DVR is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I think it's awesome. You can just press the share button. It automatically records the last 15 minutes of gameplay and takes a screenshot of what you're currently doing. You can also set it up so you can stream instantly. Like they have a Twitch app so you can watch other people playing the PS4 while you're on your PS4.
All right, pretty cool. And what about the plays you download for PS4?
That was just kind of weird. I don't know. Personally, I'd rather wait the whole time to let the whole thing download so I don't have to wait for other things to download. Like when I hopped in Killzone, I could play the single player no problem, but I had to wait another 15 or so minutes to play the multiplayer portion.
All right, cool.
Like a huge inconvenience because I had to wait the time anyways, but it seems gimmicky.
Okay, so let's go over the exclusives, which kind of, the exclusives for both game systems, and then after that we can go to our final thoughts. So yeah, what are the exclusives, guys? I know that the Xbox has Rise, which is like a Roman kind of themed game, which is pretty cool. I didn't check out the demo. I just saw previews of it. And I thought it was pretty awesome. But yeah, Killzone, I know it's a new exclusive for PS4, and then there's also Dead Rising 3 for Xbox One. So, what do you guys think about that?
I honestly thought both of the launch exclusives are kind of weak. I originally pre-ordered my PS4 with Killzone, and then they had the buy two get one free deal. So I got Knack and Injustice originally, and the reviews for Knack were really, really bad. So I took that back. I looked at the reviews for some of the Xbox One exclusives, and they didn't seem much better. Dead Rising seemed kind of subpar. Rise, it seemed okay, but like they could have done a better job on it. I personally think Killzone's a little slow, but I haven't played Killzone since Killzone 1.
Yeah,
and I don't remember liking Killzone 1, so maybe I was just hoping for something that wasn't going to happen.
I'm personally excited for Infamous. I've been a fan of the Infamous series for a while.
Oh yeah, that game's fun.
I sucked at that game.
For me, the Xbox exclusives always seemed cool, or kind of cool. Like, you know, Halo. I've always been a fan of sci-fi, but I don't know. PlayStation exclusives have always had more. It has this personality that really suits me. I can't explain it. So I'm definitely excited for some of the exclusives I'm seeing on the list, especially Infamous, of course. I mentioned that.
Okay, so your final thoughts, guys. What would you pick? Xbox One, PS4, or is there something else you would have rather over those two?
Well, like I was saying before, I mean, if you're just looking for a console to play some video games, do whatever, I mean, go with the PS4. It has better specs. I think it has better future proofing, and it's $100. It's 20% cheaper than the Xbox. I mean, the games or the consoles are relatively they're pretty similar, with the PS4 being like marginally better. But for a 20% discount for a better system, you can't. I mean, just you have to be dumb. The only reason I see picking the Xbox One over the PS4 is probably because of the exclusives. If you are a diehard, I don't know what exclusive, if you're hot for a game for the Xbox One and you just really want to play that game and you have the whatever money's not going to do for you, then buy it. But if you're looking for a console, just plug in your TV, relax, play some games, enjoy yourself. Just go with the PS4.
How about Sean? Are you satisfied with your PS4?
Yes, and let me tell you, I'm a PC gamer, and I was like, I need to get a console this round, just because PC, you don't get like the quality exclusives that the consoles get, in my opinion. Personally, I love single player games. PC doesn't really have single player games. They're more about like MMOs and MOBAs and stuff, which is nice, but too time consuming.
Zach, how about you?
Before this, I was on the fence, leaning slightly towards the PS4, but now after what I've heard and after looking at the charts, I'm definitely going to go with PS4. It's more affordable for the budgeting college student, the budgeting college gamer, I should say. Such as myself. The graphics are better. It seems more reliable in terms of hardware. I prefer the exclusives for PS4. I'm definitely going with the PS4.
I would only get Xbox One because of the Halo series and because of them making machinima with the Halo series, but there's no even guarantee of that as well. So, I mean, I probably would lean more towards the PS4 on that situation as well.
But you just like to pick whatever is the highest price. Oh, look, it's a Mac. Let's buy it.
That's enough now. All right. All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up from there. Thanks, everyone, for listening in to this podcast about the PS4 and the Xbox One. As you can see, it's pretty much a landslide. PS4 wins in this one. So, yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. And thanks, everyone, for joining.